Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on onespotmedia.com.
Up first this evening, officials of the World Health Organization, W.H.O, today said the spread of the fast-moving coronavirus outside China is of great concern and has prompted the international agency to reconvene an emergency meeting tomorrow to decide whether it has become a global health emergency.
Now, Executive Director of the WHO's Health Emergencies Program, Dr. Mike Ryan, disclosed at a news conference at the organization's Geneva headquarters that the coronavirus has spread through human-to-human contact outside of China.
Now, he also said the world needs to be on alert to fight the coronavirus.
We clearly have four levels in this response. We have an intense response going on in Wuhan and Hubei province. We have responses going on in other provinces in China where transmission is less intense, the numbers are less, but nonetheless a major response is underway to track cases, contacts and try to interrupt chains of transmission. We have the 15 countries who have imported cases. They have to stop transmission. Some of them are doing that extremely well. All of them are actually taking good action. But some need some help and assistance with lab and other expertise, and we're doing that from WHO. But the whole world needs to be on alert now. The whole world needs to take action and be ready for any cases that come.
And Executive Director of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, Ronald Jackson, says in the event of the coronavirus reaching crisis level in the region, local disaster preparedness agencies will take control of the overall coordination.
It is morphing outside of simply a health response into things like security, because you now have border issues which have to be managed. You have social distancing or quarantine, as they put it, based on the number of people may be asked to stay home or in communities. That has implications in terms of the welfare of individuals. So you're bringing in a number of other actors across the state, which needs to be managed and effectively coordinated.
Meanwhile, there were more questions in Parliament on Tuesday regarding Jamaica's preparedness to handle a case of the coronavirus. The opposition's questions followed concerns at the University Hospital of the West Indies, where a patient who recently traveled to China was being treated.
The past few years have seen a number of regional or global health threats: H1N1, measles, dengue, and Ebola, to name a few. On Tuesday, the parliamentary opposition said it was on that basis that they again questioned the health minister about preparations to effectively handle any imported viral infection.
Because seemingly as night follows day, Jamaica may be affected by this coronavirus.
And so the grilling began. Opposition health spokesman Dr. Morris Guy questioned the availability of thermal scanning equipment at the ports of entry. He made reference to comments from the acting chief medical officer on Tuesday that the equipment were ordered and are to be delivered.
We would have thought, Mr. Speaker, that Jamaica, having been primed years ago by the Ebola potential to affect the island, that these would have been put in place when we first got news that this was happening a couple of weeks ago.
Dr. Tufton explained that functioning thermal infrastructures operated by the Airports Authority are already at the island's ports of entry. However, the handheld thermometers that were there were stolen.
And as a consequence, we have to now put in place additional handheld devices and therefore have to use the ones that are the analog devices.
As for the patient at the University Hospital on Tuesday, the ministry says it was not a suspected coronavirus case. But opposition MP Dr. Dayton Campbell questioned the arrangements to handle suspected cases.
Nowhere in this statement does it say to us that what are the testing arrangements that are in place, unless I missed it. To speak to exactly if there is a suspected case, what exactly is going to be done.
That in every hospital, depending on the assessment of risk and the degree of risk, there are areas that are designated for appropriate isolation depending on the threat that is assessed. What the health officials have done and are in fact doing is assessing those locations
and where necessary, we will enhance the capacity of those locations to respond.
Opposition MP Lisa Hanna questioned the travel advisory's impact on the myriad of Chinese-led construction projects being done.
I know that managers fly back and forth, and supervisors, etc. What will be the hindrances to some of those projects, especially the construction ones, with this kind of precautionary travel?
That's part of the conversation that took place this morning with the Chinese ambassador. And I must say we both agreed, meaning our team and his team, that the advisory about restricting or discouraging travel. Now, should someone breach that or decide against that position, then they would be subjected to particular isolation and quarantine.
Now we took to the streets where we asked citizens, what do you know about the coronavirus?
Everybody know all these viruses are made in a laboratory, you know. Hey, there's no secret about that.
China, that's where the epicenter is, from a market where they eat all kind of animals. Up to last night, I was doing some research, and they take me back to the same place where they eat all kind of snake, cat, dog, all that.
All I know say, only hope them not bring it come to Jamaica, the coronavirus. Make it stay at China. I don't want it here. Because we black people don't love them kind of nastiness there.
Coronavirus? I know nothing about that.
It is a very deadly virus. I think persons should take the necessary precautions to keep themselves safe. Wash their hands, use hand sanitizers regularly. If you have children, ensure that they carry their hand sanitizers with them as well.